a little bit later via Twitter was even more disturbing than anyone could have possibly guessed. Saying, quote, "Today, Elizabeth Warren, sometimes referred to by me as Pocahontas, joined the race for president," Trump tweeted. "Will she run as her first Native American presidential candidate, or has she decided that after 32 years, this is not playing so well anymore? See you on the campaign trail," in capital letters, Liz. Yeah, so this obviously comes as an obvious and blatant reference to the Trail of Tears, which was, again, a genocide where thousands of Native American Indians and just forced out of their homes, hundreds of thousands actually, if not millions, I'm not sure the actual numbers there, under the Indian Removal Act of Andrew Jackson, were forced out of their homes, killed, and white settlers took over the territory. Yeah, and then again, this is coming from a guy who toured President Andrew Jackson's plantation 2 years ago. He idolizes the country's 7th president. He's a staunch advocate of Andrew Jackson was a staunch advocate of 19th century policies of Indian removal that entailed the forced displacement of tens of thousands of Native Americans. Yeah, tens of thousands of Native Americans in the 1830s from the southeastern United States. Forced migration was known as the Trail of Tears. So, yeah, saying on Jackson's 250th birthday, I'm a fan. I'm a big fan. Yeah, they say that my election was very similar to his. Yeah, and that everyone hated him, and he completely abused his powers and hated non-white people. Yeah, it just, again, probably another one. I really don't think people understand like how crazy this is. If you take a step back, like, you're making a joke about what was a clear, like, it was a clear genocide. Like this was a genocide. Like, imagine the German president coming out and saying, like, running against someone, for example, like, who claimed to be Jewish and was like, I can't wait to, or talking about, like, for example, like, a legislature got talking about. So yeah, okay, I better think this through. German prime minister. This is really what it would compare to. A German prime minister, like, making a speech to the chamber, and a opponent of the German prime minister was like, who happened to be Jewish or Jewish curious, I guess we'd say Elizabeth Warren was like, "I'll see you in the chamber," like, making some kind of reference to the Holocaust, to, like, in a joking manner. Like, that's the same thing. Like, that's literally, it's just as despicable, the same kind of making light of tens of thousands of people dead at the hands of a government. And the fact that is down the leader of the government makes it all the more disturbing. And, like, it's really hard to deny, like, what he did. Of course, some people are like, called it, quote, savage, awesome, amazing. But yeah, like, it's staggering how blatantly, like, racist and insensitive this guy is. It's like, you have to, like, it's not something that hits you every day. Like, it's something you keep in the back of your mind, which sounds crazy. The Trump racist, the president being racist, something you keep in the back of your mind. You don't think about every day. It's not something you're just like, yeah, he's racist. But then moments like this come along, and you're just hit by it. You're taken aback by it. Like, oh my God, this guy is racist at a whole nother level. Like, wow. Yeah, so, yeah, he's a big fan of Andrew Jackson, and, whew, yeah, that's some president to be a fan of. It's crazy. This is the guy who inspires this idiot to lead our country into the ground. So, yeah, in the implication of Trump's all-caps use of the word trail, in case it needs to be spelled out again, was that the president would massacre Warren in 2020 in a presidential race, like Jackson massacred Native American Indians. It's very funny. Yeah, just like, yeah, you'll be the next member on the Trail of Tears. Yeah, it was a reference to the Trail of Tears, reference to massacring Warren in the 2020 presidential race. It shows you, like, yeah, thousands of Native American people dying. Who cares? Who cares? It was a good thing. I mean, it was a good thing done by my favorite president, Andrew Jackson. I love him. He was the best. He was just plain awesome, dude. Yeah, love it. Yeah, so at least one person, hit the spot with one person. Donald Trump Jr., Trump's failure of a son who all the time, tries to prove himself to daddy. I was like, literally took a picture outside the Oval Office saying, I love nights outside the Oval Office. It was just like, a picture on Instagram of the Oval Office. Like, they wouldn't let him inside the Oval Office. Yeah, but there's multiple stories of Trump absolutely bullying his son, and it shows you the desperation, the insane levels of desperation by this guy to just prove himself to his father, like that. I love you, Dad. I love you. Yeah, he shared his tweet on Instagram with his own bit of racist humor, chiming in with a comment, "Savage, love my president." Yeah, and then again, so it was literally, if you don't know what he posted, it was a screenshot of Donald Trump's tweet that I just read you, and a tweet from this guy named Michael Malice. By the looks of his bio, is like a CrossFit conservative talk radio host. Let's see how wrong I am on that. Google him real quick. Where the tweet was that he wrote, "The Native American genocide continues with another murder by the president," and then Trump just goes, "Savage." Like, what is up? What is up with it? Like, I read that and I was like, my mouth fell open. Like, I'm not a guy who's gonna like call every little thing racist, but that made me take a step back. Like, Jesus Christ. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, so like pretty much all his friends are patting him on the back for making it big time right now on his Twitter feed. Michael Malice, so I think it's like, I don't know. I don't think he even has a job. He didn't put in his Twitter bio, so that's all I know. Yeah, but yeah, it's just awful. Like, this is one of the moments where you just take a step back and like, oh my God, this guy's brain is like rotting, and he's going insane. Like, this guy's like a dangerous guy to have in the White House. All right, that is that. We move on to the Green New Deal. Green New Deal just being proposed, and you can really tell a lot about an idea from who likes it. You can tell even more about it by who doesn't like it. And some of America's really obtuse pundits actually don't like the Green New Deal. So they came out and they put their full faces forward, I guess you could say. They show their true colors, would be the better way to put it. Yeah, so Ed Markey and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez unveiled the plan on Thursday, and America's most overrepresented minority took to their keyboards and phones and bang out the quick takes about why the plan is doomed to fail and why the Democrats are doomed in 2020 if they back it, and so on and so forth. And a really great point there from Paul Blest about this in Splinter, the one I just read, obviously. But it was just like, yeah, it's literally the most overrepresented group of people in the history of the United States. These pundit people, and it's so hilarious how like these people still continue to get the benefit of the doubt. They're like, okay, we have to take so seriously everything Jake Tapper says or thinks. All of that after 2016. Like, the benefit of 2016 was supposed to be that, okay, yeah, we threw out the old political playbook. Pundits, what they said anymore doesn't matter. All their like idiotic takes about how this could never happen, we could just throw that out the window because that was proven to be BS. But now, apparently not. Apparently now we gotta bring it back in. We gotta welcome everyone back to the fold. Yeah. So we're gonna go through some of the takes here right now and take a brief look at them. Yeah, but just here before that, some context. What Ocasio-Cortez and Markey introduced yesterday is not exactly a concrete plan, but it's a framework. It's a blueprint of a series of legislative bills that could be passed to under the kind of the heading of the Green New Deal that would actually bring forth a Green New Deal and make the Green New Deal a reality. It would also really serve to define. She said this in an interview with, I believe, Chuck Todd or The Breakfast Club. I'm not sure. It's two very different entities that she both talked to recently. She talked to both of them. She said like she just wanted to come out and define what the Green New Deal was before anyone else could, and they could put their centrist take on it. I'm presuming is what she meant. So yeah, she came out. She defined it. It says it's not like anything here is set in stone. I'm sure if reasonable minds wanted to pull up and actually fix something here, it could very well be done. But it's like a lot of people get the sense like, oh, this bill has so much tough to understand languages to Congress. They use these fancy language, like things I can't understand. I wouldn't like be able to get the crux of it. But if you actually go to the website, search up the text of the Green New Deal, like on the congressional website, it's only 5 pages long. It outlines pretty much everything she wants to do, why she wants to do it, in a broad text. And more details here on this are to come. Like, this is a broad, very, very broad scope plan that doesn't really it doesn't really get into too much overarching detail. It just shows you like what she wants to do, when she wants to do it, not when she wants to do it, but like pretty much what she wants to get accomplished with it. And again, as I said before, it's very much it's up for negotiation at this point in time. And I feel like it's still the FAQ, like the question box period is still open from progressive from interesting, like progressive voices who have kind of dissenting opinions on it. I feel like she would be pretty willing to listen to them, but still, yeah, some of the takes on this were just like, well, this is a little over the top. Yeah, it's not a concrete plan. It's a framework for both aggressively attacking climate change. And here's the problem that a lot of Dems had a problem with was expanding the social safety net so America resembles something like a 21st century society. For now, though, it's a non-binding resolution, and Marquez and Ocasio-Cortez said in a statement to NPR that they will begin to work immediately on Green New Deal bills to put the nuts and bolts on the plan they described in the resolution. So yeah, details coming, but the framework is out now, and you can look at that on the congressional website. It's 5 pages. I read a little bit of it before I had to go off and do something. But it is it's very easy to read. Like it's put in plain English. And if I can read it, you can read it. So before you all go all making those crazy assumptions, attacking her, like she wants, something was circulating on Twitter. She's like, she wants men to urinate in a cup. Like that's what the idea was, that she wants men to urinate in a cup and like freeze it or something under the Green New Deal. Like, don't be thinking that. Actually read what she said, and then we can talk from there. That would be very, very helpful for all you guys out there trying to do it. So yeah, the fact that the bill is a blueprint, however, does not stem from the flow of disingenuous takes on the whole idea, as if it was on the verge of passage and like there was a full plan about this. But there really isn't. But there will be soon. And yeah, perhaps one of the most prominent naysayers here was Bloomberg contributor and finance professor Noah Smith, saying, to be clear, though the green parts of the Green New Deal are good, the New Deal parts are disastrously, he says, let's give him credit there, disastrously bad. So until the proposal is substantially revamped, every Democrat's answer to the question, do you support the Green New Deal, should be no. That was, yeah, this was all part of a 10-point Twitter threads about this. He went pretty crazy on those really earthquake level proportions of just melting down on this front. So yeah, Smith's big overarching take of the Green New Deal is essentially that we don't have the money to do all of this. It's not true, as countless others have pointed out. This is a question about that's rarely been asked of wars, subsidies for corporations, or tax cut for the wealthy. Just quick example of how we could pay for it. Like you could check out her plan, how she outlines how she wants to, again, not details, not the nuts and bolts of it, which will come, but a broad framework of who she's going to go after for the money, taxes, spending cuts, like that kind of thing. So, yeah. Tax cuts for the wealthy, subsidies for corporations, wars, subsidies for corporations. There are never questions about how you're going to pay for that. But still, there is always the questions about doing something good for people. That's always the question that's been asked. And it's just grates on the nerve of every progressive every time we hear this. Oh, want to do a war in Iraq? Cost $2 trillion? Go ahead! Want to give people health care? Oh, are you going to pay for that? We're going to have a crazy debt situation coming up pretty soon. Oh, there's nothing more annoying. There is a real debate to be had, though, on whether the Green New Deal should be done through tax hikes or modern monetary theory or some combination of both. But, again, we have, at the very least, 2 years to work that out. It's not going to pass. It's not going to be even considered, probably, by the Senate. Republican-controlled Senate anytime soon. an FAQ posted by Ocasio-Cortez on Thursday, which leaned heavily on the MMT-based argument